Rubber bands are good to hold it closed. They can be used for many things. Alcohol pad, some salt. There is one time I went without salt for 2 days hiking through the East Fork and actually became dizzy and couldn't hold my balance, and they said it was my electrolytes, and they say this would have helped. I can't say for sure. Got a binocular lens, very powerful magnifying glass, fishing kit. There's a float, a balsa wood float, treble hooks, regular hooks, long shank hooks, dry flies, nymphs, wet flies, a few split shots, and a swivel. Inside of this, got a few aspirin and some allergy medicine. Very strong, powerful light. It's made by E-Gear. It's aluminum, 6061 aluminum. Has a clip. Leatherman Squirt PS4. Can opener. Couple pieces of wire. Some very strong cord with a large eye needle. Just a couple of red ties. A few various bandages. Inside here, got some 4-pound Ultra Limp Maxima fishing line, and $5. All in a small Altoids. Okay, I went for a midnight hike last night, and went back to my girlfriend's house, showered, changed, and switched some gear. Okay, by the time I got done, about lunchtime, so I thought I'd go have lunch with a 185-year-old prospector. It was a weird day. I had to leave my girlfriend's house, and as I was in there looking at this book right before I left, and one of the miners, anyway, the grave of Jacob Shiner, a miner who met his death after he was covered by a landslide, was originally located at the Hog's Back. The grave was later relocated during the construction of the Mount Baldy Road, which was completed in 1955, courtesy of the Cooper Regional History Museum. I saw this grave in this book, and I put this book down on her bed and left. Coming down, I decided to pull off the road and see where some of these trails lead. Well, the first one I came to, I mean, no more than, maybe 100 yards from the trailhead. Look what I saw. You're gonna freak out when you see this. I don't mean freak out because it's scary, but freak out because I was just looking at this just before I left. And Molly's house is, I mean, just up past the school by the ranger station. I come back down here, exploring some of these trails, and boom, run into this. It was almost like it was meant to be. I saw it in a book, thumbing through, caught my eye, I read about him, and I find him. It was weird. I could almost hear the Twilight Zone music playing. He'd be about 185 years old if he were still alive. So I thought I'd sit here and have a cup of coffee with the guy. So in this book, Images of America, Mount Baldy, it's got all the history of this entire range. But if you go on page 11, it talks about the grave of Jacob Shiner, or Shinner. He met his death in a landslide while mining. It shows where all the houses were on Baldy. It shows, if you're into Mount Baldy, this thing has all the history on it. Some incredible photos. Anyway, we're here today with a 185-year-old miner. If I did the math right, I did it in my head, so close enough. We're gonna have some coffee with him. Using the Trangia stove. What do you think the odds are on something like that? 1 to 2 miles up the road, looking at a book, one page catching my eye. Me reading that one page, throwing the book down on the bed, getting out, driving down, something making me stop at this trailhead. I come up, and boom! There's Jacob. Kind of freaky, huh? Be having some coffee and be out of here in a minute. I'm gonna go on another hike here with some different gear. Do a little fishing or something. I've still got a few hours before I have to leave for work. So there it is. Coffee with Jacob Shiner. Born 1827, died 1877. Used to be buried down in the closer to where the road is. And they moved him up here when the road was built. Some coffee for him. Cheers, Jacob. Okay, I'm here at the end of a hike. Didn't get any trout. Hungry, thirsty. I'm gonna duck into a shelter over here that I found and use my survival kit, Altoids survival. This is not only mountain, it's got some stuff for the city also. You'll see what I mean when I get into this small shelter over here. I'm gonna use something in here to finish the trip off properly. Okay, here's this little shelter I found. Somebody built a little shelter here. I'm gonna duck in here and see if I can use my survival kit here to get me something to bring up my spirits. So I went in that shelter there and I used my emergency money in my survival kit and I got me some energy drink. You never know when those survival kits are going to come in handy. Cheers guys, see you in the next one.